Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Takedown Troupe. I would say weekly, but it's been like almost a month and a half of consistency due to TNA not being consistent.
Yeah,
But
thanks, TNA. What the fuck?
how dare you? I'm mad.
Wow, evidently our anger was so great that Papa Oso just kind of evaporated.
No, please come back. Don't leave us. I don't know.
I should have put on. Damn it. Hold on. Keep talking. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Of course. So, as we are getting all situated, it would not be a Friday night review without some shenanigans of the wrestling gods trying to take out our internet at the same time. But this is going to be crazy. Yeah. So, shout outs to you, Nick. I see you. I got to get into the intros and then I'm going to give my quick thoughts about it really quickly. But thank you for being here. So, really quickly, if you are new here, this is our weekly TNA wrestling review show. Love it.
There we
Oh,
go. Much
Lord.
better. Gotta wear the honorary hoodie after becoming the content creator champion of SRG Universe at PAX Unplugged a couple weeks ago.
We'd love to see it. So, really quickly, before we talk about this AMC TNA deal for our friendo Nick in the chat, follow us on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. Follow us on the social media sites at BC WrestlePod. We have merchandise at, bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. And of course, we have a coffee bot jumping in the chat ever so often if you feel inclined to help us pay for pay-per-views because they expensive out here. It's wild. Yeah. So
Also,
Yeah.
if you like wrestling and board games, go check out SRG Universe and their game Super Show. It is a quick and easy wrestling card game. They've got 2 different versions. One of them is a little bit more collectible card game based on. They actually they collabed with TNA a little while back, so you can actually get cards of like the Hardys and Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. It's pretty cool. But the one that they're really pushing right now is a cartoonier version called Super Lucha, which is sort of inspired by the old Mucha Lucha Saturday morning cartoon.
We love Mucha Lucha in this household. All right, before Nick has to turn into a pumpkin let's get the show rolling. So before we jump into TNA proper, first and foremost, TNA Genesis is happening, which makes me super excited. And because now it's returning back to Dallas, Texas. And so, we're trying to send Papa Oso back. My hope is because they are returning with Genesis to Dallas, Texas, that means Rebellion will return to Los Angeles in April because I want to go again selfishly. But I also want other parts of the United States to get these pay-per-views because they're fun to be at. Alrighty. So now let's get into this because Nick is about to roast me in this chat. We got the announcement earlier in the week that Thursday night TNA, Thursday night Impact Total Non-Action Wrestling is now coming to us live from AMC. So TNA has struck a television deal with the AMC channel, so they will be premiering in their first inaugural episode on the AMC network will be on. It will be the live Thursday before Genesis, so it's going to be the go-home show that they're going to go live on AMC. And on AMC, it's going to be it's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, so 6 to 8. And so here's what I'll say on this, right? Because I am not a TV executive person. I don't know the ins and outs about television deals and media rights and all of that. I'm just a humble wrestling fan who loves professional wrestling. I will say this, as someone who has been religiously watching for TNA for the last 3 years, but also knowing the history of this company, in a nuclear fallout, cockroaches, Twinkies, and TNA will find a budget. We can fix some, production issues that we've been having this year. I would be here for it, but hey, it wouldn't be a TNA episode without, things. So, yeah, that's. But again, I'm cautiously optimistic. I like great things. What I'm hoping means is that this TV money also means that we can get more people and solidify and lock down this roster. Lots of contracts are coming up relatively shortly. And y'all got to start locking these contracts down. Papa, you and I talked over the course of this week that TNA needs to start locking people down. Like they need to with all the contracts coming up, we need to lock down the Rascals. We got to lock down. I want to see more for him. I understand if he wants to leave and lock down Jake because any other promotion is going to take that big man and they're going to give him something fun to do. Lock down your women because, all these companies are happening. But I'm excited for this. And the report is that starting with Final Resolution tonight, going into Genesis, a lot of the wrestling outlets have reported that there's a lot of new talent waiting in the wings to be signed that will be debuting tonight and over the next couple weeks leading into Genesis. I'm like, oh my God, are we about to get a big roster? That's crazy. Anyways, but which is fine because we kind of need to flesh out the roster,
Yeah,
especially more men and women, so we can diversify all the divisions and championships we have.
absolutely.
Yes, but again, we are all not TV people, media people, but we like professional wrestling. So, Papa, I want to come to you first. As someone who has been doing this with me for almost 3 years at this point, and we have seen the ups and downs of this company in the short amount of time. What are your thoughts about this TV deal with AMC, and what are you hoping comes out of this partnership between TNA and AMC?
Well, I mean, I don't really care. As long as wrestling is being shown, I really don't care. I mean, as long as, AMC is not, training Nazis somewhere, I really don't give a shit, Show some wrestling, let us enjoy it, where it's not make it accessible to everyone as opposed to, exclusively here. And that is it, and now you have to pay 400 things to get past 4 different walls. And hey, AMC wants to pick it up and wants to show us some good wrestling with some decent production value. I'm here for it. And I mean, I hope, the folks in their shit now, like sign your contracts, boys and girls.
Lockdown.
Yes. I hate the last minute crap. I hate that stuff.
Be like, lock it down, TNA, lock it down. Radio, same question to you. What do you think about this deal between AMC and TNA, and what are you hoping comes out of it?
I mean, like you said, like lock down some of the people that they want to keep. Maybe bring in some people from outside. If he's just sort of retired at this point, I thought I heard him he was still going on the indies. Like, bring back PCO. One of the things that fascinates me the most about this, and again, not being a TV guy, not knowing all of sort of the like parent company background information, behind the scenes stuff. One thing that I is curious about this is that AMC is not a network that at least as far as I'm aware of, is not directly tied the WWE in, like, they're not Peacock, they're not USA, they're not stuff like that. And I mean, maybe they're owned by the same parent company, and that's sort of how it all sort of comes together. But I've seen a few people sort of speculate that that TNA going to AMC could be the end of their collaboration with WWE, which I am all for. If they were able to take that, like, sort of solidify this deal and get some of their own money coming in and not have to rely on WWE and the NXT roster to sort of, fluff themselves up, that would be wonderful. So, like, I would say that that's probably the thing that I'm looking forward to and or hopeful of, that they are sort of able to sort of cut these ties with WWE and be their own thing again.
I agree with you there. I feel that we're probably still going to see a little bit of the collaboration of WWE, well, specifically NXT and TNA for a little bit. I mean, right now in NXT, tomorrow night, you have Leon Slater competing in an NXT pay-per-view match to determine a number 1 contender. So that's
Right.
interesting. And I love Leon, but it makes me mad. I was like, I know you're not going to win, but you're going to go flying. It's going to be crazy. But with this deal, I hope that they don't have to lean too heavily on the NXT side of things. And, it could be a special event where, well, I mean, when we do predictions for Final Resolution and this whole build to Final Resolution, I'm like, why is the B squad of NXT here? Which we'll get into. But again, lock contracts down, start signing some people. Let's also, I love Delirious and Tommy Dreamer down, but also let's change up creative right now. I was like, let's change up creative and get some fresh writers in the room. Like, let's start this AMC era like anew. So again, we get the first AMC TNA as the go on, on the go home show before Genesis. So that would be the Thursday, January 15th. They also made sure to tell everyone who has TNA Plus that you could still watch TNA on TNA Plus, but now it is also available on AMC, so everyone could watch it as well. So good on you, TNA. Hopefully we get some production money into this production.
That's good for now. That
Yes.
I'm sure that they, like, in a year's time they'll be like, oh yeah, no, so TNA Plus is over and you can watch all of our stuff on AMC Plus.
We shall see. All right. Now that we gotten that out of the way, let's get into this episode proper. So we got a recap of what happened 2 weeks ago, because last week was a glorified clip show and showing things that was not in regular episodes, but like specially taped over the course of the year. I'm like, great, more nonsense, but here we go. So we get a recap of 2 weeks ago. Mike Santana is on the hunt. NXT is here for some odd reason. And this was the go home build to Final Resolution. So we officially kicked this show off with a match, which I was like, oh, wrestling. I forgot about that. So we kicked things off with the hometown man, who we absolutely adore here in this, review chamber, echo chamber that we call. And hometown man was taking on NXT's and WWE Evolve star currently, Brooks Jensen. And I'm like, my God, once again, we have the B squad of NXT in the house.
I did giggle over the fact that they, like, oh, he's a second generation superstar. It's like, oh, that's interesting. He's the son of Bull Buchanan. You're kind of stretching the definition of superstar there, my guy. That's like, don't get me wrong. I remember Bull Buchanan, and yeah, he was solid. But like, he was a grade A second banana. All right, that's
And you know what? To make this even better, Brooke Jensen was being accompanied to the ring by Papa Oso's favorite wrestler and favorite facial hair in the game, Lexus. I kid. Like, that spray on beard is wild, and it keeps getting crazier every time we see Lexus. And it's bad enough that Papa and I have to deal with it when we do it at NXT, but now to see it on TNA, I'm like, oh my eyes.
well. Did you hear the story about the beard?
I did, and I still don't like it.
There was a whole interview. He had an interview, and someone asked him about the beard. It's like, and it's like, honestly, like, away from the ring, 100% respect for that. Like, if you are in good enough with the black members of your locker room that they're like, let me take you to my barber, then you're set for life, basically. And on that front, 100% respect. It's still weird looking.
I'm gonna tag Papa in. Let us know.
Nope. Absolutely not. Nope. Don't give a shit. It looks bad. It's bad. I hate, oh God. Every time I see the man, I want to punch him in his face. Painted on beard. Like,
This episode was actually my first time seeing him in action. And
oh God.
I didn't mind it, but
No, this was not him in action. This was.
well, no, not here. I mean, like, later on in the episode.
Oh, okay. I will say this about him. He's not a bad wrestler. He's
Yeah.
actually pretty good at wrestling. The character, however, is trash.
It's
Well, okay. So, what the character was kind of giving me vibes of was, and this is okay.
Trash bag.
No. Well, all right. Just the way he comes to the ring. You know who he reminds me a lot of is Hiroshi Tanahashi.
oh my goodness.
That same sort of like kind of grandiose gestures and stuff like that. And probably a little bit with the jacket and the hair too. That's kind of what I got off of him, but
Yuck. Gross. He's smarmy. He's slimy. Literally, I'm like, gross.
well, he's a good heel.
Literally. No,
Very,
it
very
has nothing
true.
to do with heel or face. He's gross. Like, there are just people out there that are just gross. It's gross. Ew.
Oh my goodness. Well,
I'm sure he's a wonderfully nice person in like real life, but the character is disgusting.
and I mean, we all on different occasions we've had this conversation. Of course, Lexus is the kid of Brian Pillman, so there's always that weird
Oh.
lineage thing to
Oh.
work out.
And also the Warhammer 40K references on his jacket. So, like, on that note, it'll be like, I see you, dude.
I'm just like, oh no. I was like, why do you gotta be a nerd and choose to do that anyway? So back to this match, right? So
Yeah. So
Just
speaking of this match, real quick, and talking about Lexus King, what is
oh
this?
no.
What is this new thing he's got going on? Like, what is he? Somebody's like sidekick all of a sudden? Like
I don't know. I feel like
promoter,
I'm-
manager? What is
He's
he?
the ringmaster.
You know, did he roll a goddamn dice this thing? Go, this is what I'm doing this week, because the man has no purpose.
It's been a rough one for Lexus. I mean, it's been a while because you were doing theater directing, but yeah, the last time we saw Lexus King was when he had that blindfold match with Miles, which was wild. To even say that in 2025, it was crazy. It was stupid. I was like, it was what it was, and then ever since we haven't seen him, and now he pops into TNA. I'm like, again, we got the B squad. Not even the B squad of Evolve down here. Like, what is happening? And I mean, we're familiar. Well, Papa, you and I are familiar with Brooks because him and Josh Briggs were a tag team. Then they broke up, and then I thought they were fighting, and then they got taken off TV, and now it's this weird whole thing. The match was fine. I love Hometown Man. I actually want to see this man actually win some things, but with the trajectory of how the night went and where we are going, and final resolution, when we get into our predictions, I was just like, yeah, okay. So some of our TNA folks are going to lose, and it just happened to be Hometown Man, to lose for this one. Brooks, I love you, but we got to figure out some things. We got to workshop some moves because I was just like, I know you're in NXT, but like, damn, that was rough in certain areas.
So what you're telling me is that Brooks is done?
I hate you. Get out. Leave. Right now. No, I was kidding. This match was fine. It wasn't like in my top of the entire night, but I was just like, it was fine. It served a purpose. It was an opener. It was what it was. Lexus King is still annoying as hell, but that is his job too. Yeah, I mean, NXT picked up a win here, and that would kind of be the trend going through certain stuff. And I was just like, all right. But moving on though. Okay, so we have all in capacity, like, you're like, these segments are kind of stupid, right? But I have to say, was this still kind of stupid? Absolutely. Did I love it? Hell yes, I did. And I think that's because we have all four of them in the same room, and it's just like the fact that Zachary Wentz was quote unquote playing the straight man in this whole entire thing was wild to me. Like, because Prey was being weird, Myron was being real, Dez was just chilling, and he's like, "Bro, I've been here. What are you talking about?" This is so dumb, but I loved it though.
Oh my god! It was just the first one. It started, and Trey's all like, "I was like, see, this is the Rascals that I miss. I really do. It's sort of the just yeah. I'm just come on back, guys. Come on back. Break out the spray paint again, because they're fun, and I love when they're like this. They're just so much fun. I love them. But
Let
this
them
was
be
hilarious.
ridiculous.
Just freaking
Just let them be ridiculous.
yeah, exactly. Let them be silly and fun, and still like wrestle like maniacs, but
Right.
Which we will talk about you, Trey, when we get to your match, because I
Yeah.
was like, thank you. This is
Yeah.
what I wanted for you, Trey. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it has been. So, but yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah. I had a good time with this one. This was fun. Radio, any additional thoughts to the treehouse?
It's still my least favorite gimmick in the entirety of TNA, but I appreciate that they're having fun, and that does it. I can't go so far as to say that this gimmick has grown on me, but like it's definitely not as annoying as it was when it first came.
Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
I am not as I'm not sitting here going like, oh God, really again? It's like, oh, it's more like, yep, okay. Yeah, it's well done. Stoner jokes as you were.
I will say though, I am happy to see all four of the Rascals reunited once again in a company. So I'm excited. I hope again, going back to our conversation of TNA AMC, lock these four boys down. I'm like, we saw Myron and Leon go at it earlier this year. I was just like, you have like 3 challengers for Leon Slater in this X division. Like, come on now. So, but Rascals, I'm happy you are reunited, and I'm looking forward. So, but yeah, TNA lock these boys down. We hear from the Inspiration, and they get interrupted by Tessa and Victoria Crawford, and also are ambushed by their new friend, crony Mila Moore. But what started as a 3-on-2 battle they were able to turn the tides and stand tall. So I was just like, we got Victoria and Tessa as your challenge. Okay.
The sad thing about this is it's kind of what, of it becoming I don't give a shit about this title.
What are you talking about? Cusp.
No, it's it's getting right on that. It's like it's teetering, it's falling over. But and it used to be one of the best.
Oh, there's so much potential there.
Yeah.
And they're just like, there's so much potential in this division for there to be good teams here and good action and the worst tag team champion. Like, the part that bugs me, like, and I know you guys are fans of the Inspiration. You've also said that like this latest run of theirs has not been the best. Like, so like, I understand, like maybe their older stuff was better and I just wasn't around for that, but baby faces for some reason, like, there is like there's like so little, like the only difference between the Inspiration and the Elegance brand is the concierge talking shit. That is the only difference.
I have to say that I think the Inspiration's weaker than the Elegance brand.
I have to agree with you, unfortunately.
And like, don't get me wrong. I am just as bummed as everybody else that Ash by Elegance had to retire, had to bow out. But on the other hand, it's like,
But right, yeah, and unfortunately, the remaining Elegance brand girls, Em and Heather, with the concierge doing this search for the next Mr. Elegance. I'm like, I hope this is actually leading to somebody getting signed and then joining the Elegance brand, because if this
yeah.
is just for a joke, I'm gonna be upset. I was like, we wasted weeks of them not being in the ring and on my television screen for a joke. I was like, if this leads to somebody actually being signed and being like, I don't want to compare, right? Because MXM Collection is just amazing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But like giving me that male model wrestler to be in part of the Elegance brand, I'm like, I'm here for this, of course. So but to conclude this segment, Inspiration and Tessa and Victoria is going down at Final Resolution, and I'm like, okay. So moving on. We're far enough in so I can start cursing. This is the shit I want to see TNA. Give me
Yes.
this weekly. Now, I will say my only critique about we did
Right.
not need that. But before all that, you know what? I that's my only minor grievance. But this is the shit right here I need to see every
Yeah.
week.
100%.
God,
This was a really good match, and I'm going to this is gonna feel like a backhanded compliment. This was a great match despite Zaya Burke.
hey, here's the thing, right? And in previous conversations, I mean, Papa, you and I have been doing this for a while. Zaya's biggest issue is the fact that, since moving to the States, she is still fairly young. I mean, she is a second generation wrestler, but it is trying to, which is the weird thing, because I'm like, Danny Luna, but then again, she's more of a power wrestler, so it's different. I was just like, Zaya, I love you, but we are still trying to iron out the kinks from, wrestling in the UK versus wrestling here in. So Zaya Brookside's parent is Chris Brookside. He is, well, obviously he's not like a big name like, say a Jushin Thunder Liger, but he does have some weight in the UK though.
It's like being the son of Bull Buchanan. It's
Essentially, but Zaya has been Zaya is what I call like a child, like a not the prodigy. Prodigy is not the word. Great music, by the way. But Zaya is a wrestling kid. So like
Sure.
your Nick Waynes, your Roxanne Perez's.
She's a nepo baby.
She is essentially a nepo baby, and she's been doing this since she was
a
like
legacy.
14. She's a legacy kid, yeah. But I love her to death, and I think she's fantastic. And honestly, I feel like Danny Luna is the best opponent for her because Danny is also from the UK and also wrestles at British. But again, because she is more of a power bruiserweight British wrestler, it just makes sense. I am still hoping that TNA will get the Subculture boys to come over, but that's like a long shot at this point. But no, this match was great. But Zaya, we tried with the octopus, but girl, we gotta lock that in. We gotta lock this in. I was like, she kept missing with the feet. I was like, we're so close. But other than that,
That's the problem with the octopus. That's the problem with the octopus stretch. If you try to do the octopus stretch against a power wrestler and you don't quite lock it in, they're basically just sort of holding you up and going like, why am I not slamming this person right now? What is going on?
yeah, I was just like, Demi is a thick girl. We need to get it. We need to try to, cinch it in. But again, even despite that, this is what I need to see from TNA and the Knockouts division, like every single week. I'm like, just let the women show up, show out, and just kick ass. That's all I'm asking for, TNA.
Yep.
Just keep it simple. Kiss. Keep it simple. Stupid. Anyways, voice any additional thoughts to this match? This was a number one's contenders match, which I also appreciate. That I was like, oh my gosh, it felt like an actual number one contender match.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I was pleasantly surprised with the outcome of this match on that regard, because like I was 100% waiting for TNA to just kind of phone it in. Like I thought this was going to be like a phoned in number one contender match, because Zaya Brookside being the tag team partner of Lei Ying Lee is like, it's this whole notion of like, yeah, they're obviously going to let the heel win so that you can have babyface versus heel at the pay-per-view for the title, and not sort of, it did feel like a little late to introduce the sort of inter-tag team drama between, and like, it feels a little late to do that. And then to just sort of have it be another babyface versus babyface match. But like, I appreciate the effort in that regard, even if the execution was not as pristine as it should have been. This is another match that could have used a little more build.
100%, and not like 40,000 clip shows.
Right.
So, because again, we got those two knockout four-way matches 3 weeks ago. And then we had the Thanksgiving clip show, and then we're back here. I was just like, this is not how we do this.
Yep.
Anyways, Papa,
What-
any final thoughts? Oh, sorry.
What would be interesting is to have one of the what I'm hoping is it leads to Xia Brookside versus Laying is a heel turn on them. Not that I'm saying that I want another Knockouts tag team to break up, because we need more of those, as we just talked about, but it would make for a more interesting story, is having either Xia or Laying Lee turn heel.
Very, very true. Anyways, back to you, Papa. Any final thoughts on Danny versus Xia?
No, not really.
Cool.
It was a good
So
match.
again, yeah. Xia does win. We do have an Indy, coming out to stop Danny from using the chain and punching her out to kind of inadvertently help Xia out. But yeah, really dug this match, and I need this every single week. Give your knockouts, when you book good singles action in the knockouts division without the silliness, we get really fun stuff like this. More of this, please, TNA, please. Which again is leading this to Nia Lee versus Xia Brookside. Which I don't care what no one says. Everybody knows here that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I cried like a little baby watching, Nia Lee's video after NXT Gold Rush, where she won the, title off of Kalani Jordan, and having her remind me that she moved to the States 9 years ago to pursue wrestling here in the States. And this is her first World Women's Championship. So I was like, shout out to you. And I'm like, I really hope they book her right, because then I'm going to be very upset, especially since TNA wants to tap this as our first ever female, female Chinese world champion in the history of the company's existence. So don't do wrong by her, TNA, because then you'll get a strongly worded email. So
I mean, as we already learned by them crowning their first Puerto Rican world champion for a week.
That's very true. Still bitter about that, but moving on. Speaking of our favorite Puerto Rican, listen, I'm just like, I don't take Robert Stone seriously over at NXT. And I was just like, I swear to God, TNA and NXT, if you somehow make Mike Santana lose, we gonna fight. But thank God they did not.
Yeah, no, honestly,
I was worried they were going to. I'm like, oh hell no.
Normally I hate squash matches. This was an example of what a squash match should be.
Exactly. Like Mike Santana beats up Robert Stone, and then afterwards cuts a promo like letting NXT know it's like, I'm on some demon time. Yo, asses are grass. Like, I'm coming for you. And I was just like, Mike Santana as the bounty hunter crossing the line into TNA and taking out some folks. I'm here for it. And this is somebody who loves and watches NXT too. I was like, you kind of need that right now. So, yeah, this was a squash match. But like you said, Radio, this is exactly what it needed to be, because we get the follow-up of Mike Santana is declaring war on these NXT fools. And I'm here for Mike Santana to kick more ass. So happy to see that. And this is leading into Mike Santana's match at Final Resolution against Papa Oso's favorite other wrestler in NXT, Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's child. So that's always going to be fun. I will say, I hate the character, but damn, man, his wrestling is actually pretty good.
Almost like he's William Regal's kid. It's
right.
It runs in the family, basically. Wow, your character's garbage, but holy crap, can you go in the ring?
Yes. I look forward to him being destroyed.
It's definitely going to be a lot more closer than this match was, but yeah, Mike Santana's winning.
He damn well better.
I was just like, I feel like going into 2026, I'm going to make a graphic just of this is like days until a Papa Oso crash out. We're all going to have one, because listen, throughout this year, wrestling has been a lot of fun for me, but there have been moments, and everyone has been witness to this on different occasions. Wait. I have a tendency to crash out.
Is that going to be the instead of on every single guess of when we do the pay-per-view of sort of predictions?
The bonus point, will Papa
the bonus
Oso
point
crash
is
out?
it Papa Oso crash out? This one?
Will he?
No, yeah, we just place our bets. I think it's going to be Bound for Glory this year.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like, yeah, between me and Papa Oso, we are very passionate about our wrestling. And
sure.
I don't do it as much here on TNA, but everyone has seen me crash out in different shows. But that is our bet going forward for TNA. Is will this match make Papa Oso crash out? Yes, no, maybe. Bets are still out. And it'll just be a bonus. That'd be crazy. But squash match, Mike Santana beats up Robert Stone. We can move on with our lives. God, those lip fillers are not doing him. I was like, what was this? So bad, you guys.
He's shifting from Elvis Presley to Steven Tyler. That's what it is.
Not Steven Tyler. This was rough, you guys. Oh, Frankie fires back at JDC, who he will be facing at Final Resolution for the TNA World Championship. And I'm just like, God, this sucks. God, I had to watch this. This was hard, you guys. This was like, you're old, Franklin, and I know you're supposed to be, but damn, these cameras did not do him justice, and I feel bad. But JDC, I'm gonna say this now. The camera did also do nothing for you when we get to you. Hold up, I'm trying to think. Is it next? No, it's not next. I'm like, that's later in the show.
They hired Doug Walker to do the fucking promos in this one. Like,
Frankie is just gonna show and retire JDC is the essential, like, what we get the gist of this whole thing. I'm like, moving on. I don't want to. God, this is gonna give me nightmares. Rich homie Swan, you better be turning on AJ at Final Resolution because this is an indicated turn if I've ever seen one, and I could be wrong though because I have been swerved, no Strickland throughout the 2025.
No. After that treatment, if he doesn't, he's a fool.
Or Casey Navarro comes back. I don't know. I miss Casey, but I know he's out on injury. Hopefully he's coming back really soon. I like Casey. But we get First Class Penthouse. You know, AJ and Rich Homie Swan with special guest Leon Slater. Did not know that AJ dropped an album, and I was like, do I want to check it out? Maybe. I was just like, and then I saw the album art cover. I was like, well, it's not the worst thing I've seen. I've seen some really bad DJ Khaled album art covers, but I was just like, and even some even more questionable Rick Ross album covers. But I'm just like,
yeah, this is just another one.
Oh God, you need to leave. I swear, if I didn't work with I swear I get it enough from my fourth graders and my middle schoolers that But I was just like, this is crazy. Anyways, that is just the weirdest comment, but honestly, that's exactly how I felt about this Penthouse. This was weird. I was just like, I mean, again, they could pull a swerve and AJ Francis wins the title, but then I'm like, I highly doubt it. But you know what? It scares me to think that there is a possibility. But ultimately, this is just the final angle to AJ and Leon's X Division Championship match tonight at Final Resolution.
One thing that did stand out to me on this one match is I never realized how tall Leon Slater is.
He is tall. It's crazy.
Because the whole thing, like AJ Francis is supposed to be this, like, maybe not big show size, but like he's supposed to be one of the giants of TNA. And Leon's like here on him, this is not like an Undertaker versus Crash Holly kind of size difference here. This is like, I'm like, wow, either AJ is not as big as I thought he was.
Leon, I will say, is tall and lanky. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, this was the go home angle. I mean, Leon Slater goes through, gets beat up towards the end of this anyways. But yeah, Rich Homie Swan, it is now or never. It is time for you to either stay with AJ or this could be a swerve. No Strickland. Anyways, moving on.
They know people. That
they know people.
Congratulations. Next.
Like, guess what? We all know people. After JDC retires, they're gonna look to see if they can have people join, the system. And I was like, no, it needs to be dead. We're done with the system.
The system is down, yo.
Listen, I rooted for y'all at Bound for Glory, but no more. Anyways.
We need to reboot the system.
God. Okay, back to the camera issue. This also did not help you. JDC, this was not a good look either.
Look at those delicious neck meats.
I was going to say, I was just like, bro.
You got a really good screen cap there, my guy.
I feel so bad because, like, on a personal level, I love JDC because, listen, Fashion Police, WWE, you and Tyler Breeze, still hold he'll still hold it down. Y'all should have been tag champs at some point when we had those brand splits and the SmackDown tag team division was a thing of wonder. But yeah, 20 plus years in this business, I was just like, I feel bad, but you know what? This was too funny not to put in. This is going to be it.
Just my neck meats are perturbed.
JDC is going to show Frankie Kazarian why he is an actually good wrestler. And I was just like, I wish I could believe that. I wish that were true. I mean, I still think it's going to be a close bout, but there's no way Franklin is losing tonight. Like, absolutely not. We love you, JDC. I'm excited that you have a child, and I am sad to see you retire after 20 plus years. But you know what? Go off into the sunset, my friend, and enjoy your life. Bangin'. Yes, thank God. Once again, TNA, when you actually let people wrestle, this is the shit I need to see every single week. Mustafa Ali versus Trey Miguel probably was my favorite match of the night. Not even gonna lie. Again, it's that classic cruiserweight X division. And I'm like, Trey, this is why I missed you, and this is why I need you more in singles action, because you are just wild. And Ali, I was just like, I like the way that Ali wrestles, especially not necessarily in this character, but in his heelish persona, even in the independents where he's just a cocky asshole and he like his move sets and how he kicks out is the same way, but he's so damn good too. I will say though, the craziest spot I think in this match is when Trey did a baseball slide through the rope into a DDT on the outside. That
That was pretty
was
dope.
banging.
This was great. You guys know I like Mustafa Ali a lot. I think WWE wasted, like, he is the portrait of wasted potential in WWE, or him and Ricochet basically. And Trey Miguel, I like, as much as I complain about the Rascals can go in the ring. So yeah, no, this is that high flying back and forth all over the ring flippy dippy bullshit that I love. So
We love Flippy Dippy. It's fantastic. Papa, any thoughts on this match itself?
It was just great to see Trey back in the ring, like truly back in the ring. It was so good. I just love watching him wrestle. And Mustafa Ali too, because I like him as well. I'm not really liking this character turn he's got going on, but I did love this match. This was my favorite match of the night. My absolute so good.
And honestly, we could have just ended the show right here.
Yeah, we could have. It would have been a better ending.
yep.
We could have ended the show right here. So, but we did not. But
Nope.
Ali does end up winning against Trey. We have an 8-man tag set for Final Resolution. All 4 of the Rascals will be taking on Order 4. Specifically, it's the Great Hands, Ali, and Agent Zero. And so with Tasha being outside of the ring too, I was just like, Rascals, I'm not saying we need a female member, but hey, you know what? Killer Kelly and Myra and Reed are an actual couple married. So I was like, Killer Kelly in here would be kind of crazy, not gonna lie. But that's besides the point. Again, we could have ended right there, but we did not because this was our actual main event of the show. This was the Hardys, our TNA International Champion Steve Macklin, Lockjaw looking ass mofo, and Cedric Alexander taking on Team NXT, which unfortunately has the, Papa Oso's favorite beard in the world, Lexus King, who could also possibly a beard in the different way, for those of you who know, if you know. Santino Marella's like son-in-law. Those are the only 2 I care about. I was just like, Black Excellence, love you. I don't care for Lexus and Stax. I really don't. At least in their current iteration of their characters, they're annoying as hell. And I will say that till the cows come home. But I'm really happy to see Tyson and Tyreek get a spotlight here because I think they're great. And I was a little worried after, Wesley, aka Dez, over here at the Rascals, when he was released from the Fed. I was worried that we were going to push those 2 to the side, but happy to see them on television. I'm actually kind of looking forward to their match at Final Resolution against the Hardys. But as far as this match goes, I was just like, the writing was on the wall. I was just like, NXT is going to probably pull out the win here, aren't they? And sure enough, they did. Due to some interference from Brooks Jensen, that was like Santino Dad came out. He was yelling at Stax's son-in-law, be like, how dare you? What are we doing? Like, this was fine. It was really rough. And I was just like, oh, man. I thought we were done with NXT versus TNA, but apparently not. So, anyways.
Here's hoping AMC will be like, no. We had a deal for TNA, not these WWE hooligans.
This is the B team of Evolve because not even your champions of Evolve are coming down here. Like, we don't see like a Swipe Right. We don't see a Jackson Drake or, a Kendall Gray, a Timothy Thatcher. Even like the ID folks, like Marcus Mathers, Aaron Rourke, Cappuccino Jones, Jack Cartwheel. Like, I was like, no, this is the B squad of NXT that got sent to Evolve, and now here they are on my TNA screen. I was uninspired. I will say though, Macklin, I need this intensity every time because you were literally stomping fools left and right. I was just like, what are we doing? Also, shout out to Mrs. Steve Macklin, aka Deonna Purrazzo, for becoming the inaugural Ring of Honor Pure Champion tonight at Final Battle, which is also there's too much wrestling this weekend. I have a lot to watch, but shout out to her. She is the inaugural Women's Pure Champion. Her and Billy Starks put on a banger of a match to open up the pay-per-view tonight. And it seems that, again, for those of us that watch Ring of Honor and AEW, it seems that Deonna's first official feud after she's cleared is going to be Deonna versus Queen Aminata, and I'm ready for it. So that's going to be fun. And again, this match was so interesting. That's why I was talking about another promotion. It was a whatever. I'm like, it's the go home episode. NXT got the 1-up. So that means that most of these folks or all of these folks probably going to lose at Final Resolution, except for one. And we're going to talk about that when we get into predictions. So yeah, actually, let's just do that now, shall we?
Yeah.
Unless anybody else has anything to add about this main event. Cool. Did not mean to turn off my camera. I was like, alrighty. So if you are new here to BC Wrestle Pod, what we like to do on our go home editions is we like to do our predictions for our pay-per-views that we are going to be reviewing. So we will be reviewing Final Resolution next Friday, as we tend to review our pay-per-views about a week after they air for most parts. But we also have a predictions league going on, which is a lot of fun. And I have a great time with it because, I'm not doing too bad. Papa also is still in the lead for the TNA league, though, but I am on his ass. Pause for that one. No, but honestly, I was just like, this year has not been my year. Predictions across all the four major US promotions that we do predictions for is kicking my butt. I'm just like, last year I ran away with every single one except for WWE. And this year I have too many people. Either I am close behind the leader or I am the leader, but the difference between my lead is like non existent. But we are going to be doing our predictions for Final Resolution, which is currently happening as we are talking right now about the Go Home show. TNA, I love you, but we need to figure out, like, can we stop doing Friday pay-per-views like this? I would love to be able to get a predictions out while the pay-per-view is not going on. So I don't have my friends spoiling certain things for me and looking at you, Jesse. But I love you, Jesse, though. And you know what? We'll talk more offline, but if I can convince him, I think he may join our panel starting in 2026. But anyways, we're going to do our predictions right now for Final Resolution. We got a whole bunch of matches to talk about. And yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. So let's get into it, shall we? So currently slated, we do have one match for the Countdown show, which for some reason TNA was just like, okay, we're just gonna have this match happen. I was just like, why? So we are getting Cedric Alexander versus Eric Young on the Countdown show. I'm gonna be so for real because Cedric Alexander, I feel like, needs a win in terms of like, I don't want to see Eric Young win. So by default and out of spite for, Eric Young and his cleansing of TNA, I'm gonna go with Cedric Alexander.
Same.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fair
That's
enough.
it. Just no other comment on that. Really, just let Cedric out. No, let Eric Young keep eating shit.
And Papa, I'm assuming you're also going with Cedric as well.
Yes, because anybody at this point, Eric, I could give a shit about Eric Young right now. So anybody who's fighting him, I'm always going to be on their side. So
Very fair. Alrighty. So that takes care of the countdown. So let's get into the main card. So hands down, I think I know the answer for all of us. Mike Santana versus Charlie Dempsey. We're all going with Mike Santana.
Yeah.
Papa, bonus question for you. What's worse, Charlie Dempsey's mustache or Lexus King's beard? Well, now it's more like a mutton chop kind of thing going on.
Right.
I'm going to say Lexus King. At least Charlie Dempsey's is real.
Ooh, which is also very true. But anywho,
Gross.
so I'm just like, there is no way that Mike Santana loses this match because if they do, again, TNA, we're gonna have several conversations because that would not be great. Not even gonna lie. So, but yeah, moving on. We then have our street fight. So, because I forgot that this was the thing that was happening, but we are getting our street fight in which we are getting Mance Warner versus Matt Cardona in this one. I'm gonna go with Mr. Cardona, always ready. So I'm gonna go with Matt.
I can't picture Matt Cardona putting Mance Warner over, so I'm going with Matt.
And Papa.
Okay, I'm going to roll a D6.
Yeah, let fate
So
decide.
evens, it's Mance, odds, it's Matt. That is a 5. So we are going to go with Matt Cardona.
Cool. Alrighty. Next match, our 8-man tag team match. This match is gonna be chaotic. The Rascals versus Order 4. Now that we have all 4 members of the Rascals reunited, I feel like we're going to continue to have this train going. So I'm going to go with the Rascals. I
I'm
can't.
going with the Rascals.
Like from a storytelling perspective, you want to sort of establish them as a quartet, as a full stable. If we're going stable versus stable, Order 4 has been doing that for a hot minute. So yeah, Rascals.
All right, fair enough. They definitely are. I just realized I put these out of order, but that's okay. Anyways, next up, The Inspiration versus Tessa and Victoria for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. I want to preface by saying this. 3 out of the 4 of these women I actually really dig. I think they're great people. I just don't care for this match, honestly. Inspiration here.
As much as I don't really care for them, I can't imagine that they're going to take it from them, especially because Tessa and Victoria, it's such a random pairing.
Fair.
I just that doesn't feel right. So I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with The Inspiration as much as I don't want to.
So we're trying to we're predicting who's going to win.
Yeah.
The concession stand. is going to win this match.
No, I'm predicting on who they're just going to give the title to,
Ah!
and that's the inspiration.
Okay. As who's going to win the title? Yeah, inspiration.
I mean, we all lose in this match, but
The real winner here is going to be the concession stand as everybody gets up and goes to get another hot dog and another beer.
That's
the
fucking
bathrooms.
diabolical
Yes.
radio, but you're not wrong. And it's sad to say.
the only losers here are all of us.
It's like, I was like, anyways, moving on. For the TNA World Tag Team Championships, the Hardys versus Tyson, Duhant, and Igwe. I love the High Rise boys in NXT, but let's be so for real.
Yeah.
There is no way the Hardys
No
are going
way.
to lose, so I have the Hardys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
same.
way.
Alrighty. So
That is one sort of overarching qualm I have with TNA right now is that we don't have any credible threats for the Hardys. Like all of their Bound for Glory, yeah, they put their titles on the line against the Dudleys, who were never going to win because Devon is capital R retired, and that it ended up being Bully Ray's last match too. And I don't see any other tag teams in TNA that are giving them a run for that money. Like that, they're just going to hold these titles until they both retire, which
Or die.
which frankly should have been last year, but that's beside the point.
I mean, you're not wrong. So
When Jeff, when you do poetry in motion and you stop doing the heel kick in favor of just sort of a clothesline, yeah, no, that's a sign, buddy. That's a sign. Time to hang that shit up. Okay.
we need to stop right now.
Yeah. Because that was half the thing with poetry in motion is that you got that launch up and then into the heel kick. And that was cool. Now it's just sort of like, no, hang it up. Go home. You've done enough. Your legacy is secure. Call it a night.
We don't need to keep doing it. Yeah, for sure. Alrighty.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chris Jericho looks like Will Ospreay next to them.
Like, how dare... No, it's kidding. Anyways, moving on. TNA International Championship. Steve Macklin versus, the son-in-law to Santino because he is, Stacks. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. NXT has to have some wins on this pay-per-view, and unfortunately, I think this is one of them.
Yeah.
I think this is the only win NXT is getting here, so I'm going with Stacks. I hate that because I love Macklin. I love Mr. Deonna Purrazzo, but NXT would not have all their, even if it's B-level Evolve talent on NXT, there is no way NXT would allow all of their, wrestlers lose at the pay-per-view. So I unfortunately think Stacks is winning this international championship. Which has also been another thing that has annoyed me because Frankie won it off of Macklin, and then like 2 weeks later he got it back at Bound for Glory. I'm like, what was that for?
Yeah, and let's keep it off him for a little while. Like we know he's like the international champion. Let's give it around to a couple other people. Share it.
Spread the wealth, if you will.
Come on, Steve. Sharing is caring.
He gonna share his boot in your face. Anyway, so yeah, I hate to say this, but I'm going with Stacks on this one.
Yeah, same.
Papa also looks like he wants to kill
Why does
me.
it have to be Stacks?
I know.
I mean,
we could have. I'm gonna be so for real. I would have picked Charlie Dempsey. I'm not even gonna lie. Charlie would have been more fun.
yeah. The funny thing about it, or the sad thing about it, whatever, I don't give a
Also,
shit, is I know that Macklin's not going to retain. I know that. We know that because if you read the cards on the table, that's just the way it's falling. Sad thing is why is it Stacks?
Also, Stacks, your picture, this
bad.
picture of him looks like he's one of those like ambulance chaser lawyers that you see ads for on daytime TV.
That's crazy word,
so
but
true.
I see it though.
That's so true though.
It's like if you've been attacked, call Stacks.
Oh no, stop.
Since betraying the family in NXT, leaving Tony D'Angelo out to dry, the trajectory for Stacks has not been great.
I mean, is that what this is? Is this going to be a Stacks win because we're trying to reinvent him? Or
I don't know.
Sorry, ever since Tony D'Angelo left, I mean, he's kind of like collapsed like a flan in a cupboard. I mean, seriously. I mean, if you look, I mean, he has. It's like,
that's
Stacks.
very, very true. I don't know what's going on, but
I'm sorry, can't get over the picture. I'll get you the money that
I know.
you deserve.
Yeah, it's so true.
All right, so all of us unfortunately have stacks for this. God, I hate it. If then
Allen's big mouth would get him in trouble one day.
in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Listen, AJ Francis is a fun heel. Not gonna lie.
No,
I'm
Leon
still
is
going with
not
my boy
losing
Leon.
this. He is
There's
Yeah,
no way
that's-
Leon loses.
Leon
not
holds
to
on to it.
AJ, not to AJ Francis anyway.
At least not in this, this time around. Maybe in the future after Leon has like had other matches, but like
Maybe in a mirror universe.
If they make this a running feud, I could see AJ winning it later on, but not in this one.
no.
No.
I feel like AJ and the Rich Homie Swan are probably going to be doing some stuff for a little bit, and then maybe they will revisit this. But then again, we'll see where this roster lands going into the new year because with
Right.
new folks being rumored to be signed,
Maybe Rich Homie Swan screw
I-
Jay Francis.
that would be kind of fun too. And I'm not gonna lie, I would kind of like to see Leon and Rich Swan run it back again because that match at Turning Point was ballin'. I
Right.
also would love to see Leon and Myron Reed go at it again too. Like that match was ballin'. Leon has had some incredible matches this year. Well, he's had incredible matches all year, but the second half of this year has been phenomenal for Leon, both here in TNA, in NXT, and of course, when he goes to the UK wrestling as well for Rev Pro and Progress. It's been fun.
And you and I, Michael, we've talked about Leon like long ago, how he would be the best X Division champion ever.
We've been saying it for 2 years, and they finally gave this kid the
Finally
title.
gave it to him, and now he's really making it happen. That's what I love about it. It's like he's taken it and he's made the X Division something again.
And I'm looking forward to, if Leon sticks with TNA long enough, I do want to see him become world champion one day.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so we got Leon Slater, the battle of the besties. I think this match is going to be fun, but I also think we all have the same person. I'm pretty sure that Liang Li is going to retain, so I'm going with Liang Li. I don't think they would take. Again, I say this looking at Mike Santana, but I don't think that Liang Li is going to lose it to Zaya Brookside here. So I have to have that in the back of my mind now. I was just like, our world champions for the men's in the knockouts division. I was just like, I'm just looking at it side eye. I'm like, I don't think I love Zaya, but I don't think she's not ready to be champion yet. So I'm going to go with Liang Li retaining.
Yeah, Liang Li's. She's just a better wrestler, so I kind of hope it goes on her. So yeah, that's the reason I'm sticking with Liang Li to retain.
That's true. And I won't talk about it too much, but I do highly recommend, even though it was a little touch and go at the beginning, the triple threat in which she won this championship was actually really good between her and Kalani Jordan and Jordan Grace. So it was a pretty good match. Anyways, what's probably going to end up main eventing the show, Franklin over here and his lip fillers defending the TNA World Championship against JDC and the giblet on his neck. So, but as much as it pains me to say this, I am going with Franklin to retain.
Yeah, that seems fairly preordained.
Sweet. And that has been our predictions for TNA Final Resolution. It is still currently going on, but again, according to Fightful and some other wrestling news outlets, there's a lot of talent that are going to be making their premieres, so to speak, and debuting in terms of like on TNA television, which has me very interested to see who we are going to get.
So let me ask the question then. We'll make this own prediction / wish list. Who would you like to see show up in TNA?
That's a good question. So again, I feel like because I watch too much and I'm following all the stuff, this is a little bit of a spoiler because I did not reported on this, but I did say this to some of the other podcasting boys who are very familiar with this gentleman. Again, this is full spoil. This is spoiler, but not spoiler because it's been reported. It was reported last week. But one of my favorite people on the indies right now, making a tear just of how crazy he is and also how lovely of a human being he is. And yes, I have met him in person and I love him and he's fantastic. If the rumors are true, I'm very excited to see TNA if they can sign Bear Bronson. That's one of my favorite peoples right now. Okay. Bear is one of my favorites. And, given the situation of everything that went down in AEW with him and, unfortunately being out of his control with what was going down with his tag team partner who shall not be named on the show. So I'm excited about that. But like totally out of the blue, like if I had to take a random guess, you know what? Because I just recently saw them, and even though they were here in TNA as part of Honor No More, I kind of would like to see the Righteous come back,
The Righteous would be
especially going
good.
up against the Hardys. Like, that's just Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero versus the Righteous would be wild. But also, like, I would love this, like you mentioned earlier, PCO would be fun to come back. I will say, though, I don't know if this is going to work because, the Fed has, purchased AAA, but I would like to see more AAA talent come over to TNA. So, I mean, even though he was already here, like a Laredo Kid, the clowns would be amazing in TNA, like Psychosis and all of them. Hell, even throw Mr. Iguana in here. Like
Yeah.
Mr. Iguana, I mean, him and Leon already had a match. Like, it's
He's
like,
got an iguana. It's
yeah, get Mr. Iguana and Layeska. They're a package deal, and we
yes, of
need them.
course.
But yeah, I don't know. But honestly, those are like for real picks, Bear and the Righteous. And like, if I had to pick like a name on the independent, I would kind of like to see, this is way out left there, but because I feel like we need more men's tag teams that are actually really solid. They're heavily, Wrestle and GCW. I would like to see Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini, Violence is Forever, make an appearance in TNA. Those boys hit hard, and like I think a good powerhouse hitting hard tag team and singles competitors too. I think the would shake the men's division up, and I just selfishly want to see Kevin Koo and Mike Santana beat the piss out of each other.
So what about you?
I don't really have anybody.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I'm open. If I bring them over and let's see how they do.
There is one tag team. Like I only have one tag team that I would love to see come into TNA. And once again, a lot of it's because their men's tag team division needs a little oomph right now. Every time I've seen them on the indies or like whenever they show up on my screen, they bring the house down. That's Fresh Air.
Yes, I love Fresh Air. They are so
Like,
good.
Like get Fresh Air on there and we can have entire stadiums. So we have entire stadiums chanting, clap them cheeks. It's
So, Will, Fresh Air is a team out of Canada. They are promptly featured on Mystery Wrestling, which is like a comedy wrestling federation in Canada, owned by AEW star Evil Uno. And the funny thing is yes, they are funny, they are comedic, but holy hell, they're like if Run DMC was a wrestling tag team because that's their aesthetic. They come out in like the black bucket hats, the chains. They are funny, clapping cheeks for the win. It's funny, but at the same time, they do kick major ass. Like, holy hell, they are fantastic.
yeah, and and I'm because like mystery wrestling is basically my primary outlet into the indies right now. But so like I'm thinking of like other people that I've seen on mystery wrestling that would be interesting to see. But like even then, like their two biggest guys are like London Lightning and who's the other guy?
Still Nicks.
The Cecil Nix, thank you. Those guys are both like so like sort of comedy focused that I'm not sure it would work to like bring them into TNA without making them like without or at least without bringing that, their feud with them,
Mhm.
So but I do think a team like Fresh Air would be a lot of fun in TNA.
Heck yeah. So that has been our TNA show for the evening. A little bit of a longer one, but we tend to kind of do so on our prediction go home episodes. So we still got a bunch of stuff coming down the pipe this weekend. Tomorrow morning, before I leave for Los Angeles to head to GCW's Highest in the Room, that's going to be a fun show. I will be here along with my friend Benny, and we will be going and reviewing and post-show breakdowning, if you will, Ring of Honor's final battle. So I watched half of the card before I got on, and I'm going to finish the other half of the card and do that review in the morning. And Sunday, the WWE crew will be here to review Survivor Series. I was in the house for Survivor Series. Granted that it was like, even though it was a 2.5 hour car ride, it's in my backyard of San Diego. So I did not go alone. Mama Laguillo came with me for her first WWE show, and we're going to review Survivor Series and talk about Raw and SmackDown this week. And then next week is just as chaotic because we have a whole bunch of stuff going on. Pay-per-view are a thing. Next Friday, we will be here to review Final Resolution and then talk about all the stuff that has happened in TNA this past week. So looking forward to all of that. But that's going to be it for us here tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. From all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you for our reviews this weekend and a bunch of stuff next week. But until then, and Until next time, peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.